This week on Performance TV, we're coming to you from a small town in eastern Tennessee, Decatur.
That's right. It's like 3 stoplights or something like that. But out here in this rural area out on Highway 58, we found some really interesting stuff all about performance here at Speed Engineering.
This LS3 engine, stuff that comes in the new Camaros, they've done some neat tricks to these, some add-ons, and some stuff that you're going to make some big power, and we're going to show you how it does.
That's right, and that's all coming up next. This week's Performance TV, where now we've been able to step inside here at Speed Engineering and meet up with owner-operator Jeff Nance. Jeff, tell us a little bit about how you've built this engine here.
Tell Kathy about the engine. I'm going to go check out this exhaust I see sitting over here.
All right. What are some of the parts that you've been able to use for this build, Jeff?
We got Wiseco's forged pistons, K1 Technologies, rods and crank. It's all forged. And we're using ARP fasteners. And of course the American Racing headers exhaust.
Wow, sounds like you've put some really prime pieces into this, and we're going to get a chance to put this together, and you're going to show me some stuff here as well. First, we're going to find out more about that American Racing header system and go check in with Tommy.
If you haven't heard of American Racing Headers by now, I'm pretty sure you're going to. I'm with Nick, the owner of American Racing Headers. I understand you build the headers for all the new Copo Camaros?
Yeah, we certainly do, and well, part of the reason why is because we had a really successful program with our Camaros, you know, with the Gen 5 Camaros, and GM caught up on it and decided to give us a shot. Yeah, not only that, but we also did the Drag Pack Challenger, and we did the Cobra Jet for Ford.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to hear about it pretty soon. I mean, the quality. Look at this kit. That's what impresses me is the quality. It comes with everything, not just a set of headers, but everything, complete exhaust. Tell me about the headers. What makes American Racing Headers so good?
Well, for starters, they're 100% American-made. As a matter of fact, everything we do is 100% American-made. And one of the things that I think differentiates us from a lot of people is the attention to detail that we put into the design. We TIG weld and hand port all our inlets. We try and get our lengths as equal as possible. We try and make the fit and finish as nice as you can get.
And I can see this flange. I mean, that's not a flimsy little flange.
No, it's 3/8 thick as it should be.
Right.
It comes with merge collectors with scavenger spikes. The other neat thing about it is that we're not a one-size-fits-all company. You know, different guys do different things to their cars. Like Jeff's car makes a lot of power. So this is our 2-inch design, which will basically support whatever power he decides to throw at it.
You said all stainless steel, American-made steel. Everything on these headers is American-made.
Yes, it is. We refuse to outsource at all in any way, shape, or form. So
just tell me about the system here. We got headers, then it works its way on back. What's the rest of this system include?
Basically, it's the entire system. It's got our connection pipes with our high-flow cats. We have our X-pipe, which is very, very important. We connected it here. Basically, this system here ends right by the rear axle, which is what's on Jeff's car. Jeff's car went with muffler delete, with the muffler delete system.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Tennessee out in the middle of nowhere. Evidently, they don't care about mufflers out here. It's a little loud, but
we're from New York, and you gotta have mufflers.
Yeah, so your system comes complete. Right. So, I mean, clamps, bolts, everything, the gaskets, the wiring harness for the sensors, everything is complete. It's a one-stop, one part number, get it all, and be done with it.
What we did was we went with OEM-style clamps from AccuSeal. We have the same clamps that GM, Ford, and Chrysler uses. We have extension harnesses, of course, for the primary O2 sensors. We use gaskets from Flat Out Racing. They've been flawless. We've been using them for 7 years. We only use grade 8 hardware. In this particular case, what we did was, we normally, when we sell these kits, we normally ask the customer to reuse the factory bolts because they're fine. But Jeff decided to go with an upgrade when we went with the ARP studs, which actually works really well.
That's great. Well, when we come back from a break, we're going to see how Kathy's doing on the engine, and then later we'll show you about this exhaust on the car.
This week's edition of Performance TV is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology, and by K&N Filters, the world's best filters, and by Lubrication Specialties, the future of high-performance products.
ARP, the world leader in fastener technology, the fasteners of champions.
Do what we do. Use ARP fasteners.
They are the best in the business. I'll do nothing but ARP.
I go to ARP.
We don't take any chances, and that's why our equipment is ARP.
We use nothing but ARP to keep our ride tight and right.
We won 3 championships using ARP fasteners.
We'll use nothing but ARP.
You got to surround yourself with the best, and that's ARP. You have my word on that.
ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Are you looking for weather stripping for your classic car or truck? Do you need replacement rubber parts for your street rod or restoration project? Steel Rubber Products supplies the highest quality restoration rubber parts for your classic, antique, or custom rod. From window and door weather stripping to a wide variety of roof rails, bumpers, and seals, Steel has the rubber parts you need for your restoration project. With great fit and authentic look, Steel Rubber Products has the rubber parts to help restore the car of your dreams. To find the parts you need, log on to steelrubber.com today or call Steel at 800-650-4482 for a free catalog.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Jeff, we've put all kinds of great parts together to put in this motor. And can you tell me any particular reason why you use some of these brands?
ARP studs, you can't beat them. They have superior quality control and fastness. Going to spend the kind of money you spend on one of these engines, it's a wise choice to go ahead and choose ARP.
Absolutely, and the nice thing is about ARP too is like you can just get the kits. They're all together. You order one part number, you get everything you need inside, including coming with their fastener assembly lubricant, which is awesome stuff. And we're going to talk about a little bit more coming up when we get into some of the torquing here. Now, what all do we need to think about when we're going to be putting in the crank itself? Because I know that's coming up here next.
We've got to get these studs in, get the bearings in, put some oil on them.
Well, you know, the fine folks at King actually helped us out with the bearings for our project here today, and we have the King XP bearings that we're going to be sticking in. And as we get ready to put this in, Jeff, you want to grab that over there for us? The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a good, clean, dry shop towel, and we wipe that out, and you also wipe out what you're doing over there before we stick that in there, because that will definitely help out with the proper seating of the bearing when it goes in here into the housing. All right, got our oil in there next, and I'm going to step out of your way so you can grab that crank. It's really just a one-person job, especially on a crank this size here. Get that puppy in there.
You have to be careful not to let it touch the studs. Nick those journals.
Yep, nice polish there. Definitely do that. There we go. Spins in there nice. All right, we'll trade places again. We can start putting these caps on.
Torque those down to 60 foot-pounds on the outer and 50
on the end. Do you know if there's any particular reason why we would have two different torques? Is it because of the lengths of the bolts are different?
Yes.
So the shorter ones actually get torqued more.
And there's more meat on the outboard of the block.
And you always want to make sure you watch for the numbers, too, as you're putting these back on. Jeff was nice enough to have them in order for us already, so we could just grab them.
We're underneath this Camaro, and obviously this has got the American Racing headers on it already, Nick. But we've removed a little bit here so we can show the viewer how easy it is to install and to give them a little tips and tricks on how to do it. Tell me about the headers. I mean, do you have to raise the motor out of the car to get them on, or is it easy install?
Well, GM did us a big favor, and they gave us ample room here. These headers actually slide in really easy. The passenger side literally slides in once the stock stuff comes out. On the driver's side, you simply just have to remove the steering shaft.
Steering shaft's it. All you got to take out.
Steering shaft, just take the one bolt off the shaft. The shaft literally slides right off the rack, move it to the side. Header goes right in. And it's really simple. This is probably one of the easiest installations you'll do on any late model car.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of cars, you got to lift the motor, you got to get a cherry picker, pick it up, get it, slide the other ones out.
One of the things that we do in the process of prototyping our products is try and make something that not only makes horsepower, but installs as easy as possible.
Well, I like the sound of that, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that's really important that people have to know is that when you put long tube headers on, you have to tune the vehicle.
You know, now we've got all of our caps on here on our very, very nice K1 4340 crank. You know, this thing's good to well over 1,000 horsepower. Yes, it's like, and we love talking horsepower, especially when we're getting into the 4-digit range. But now what we're going to do is go ahead and finish up getting all of our nuts put on here and get our ARP assembly lube, which they've got really nice instructions they put together with it here. We actually even have the bolt torque sequence that they put inside the box in every kit, depending on what you need. I didn't realize it was that particular on all these, but it is. And as Jeff was putting on our last one here, ARP tells us about the fastener assembly lubricant. comes with each kit, and why you want to use this instead of just regular oil. It has a lot to do with the friction. And of course, the inconsistencies of the clamping force with the fasteners when you use motor oil. And when you start off with the ARP fastener lube, you've got that preload right away that really helps with that on your very first pull.
This week's ARP quarter-mile quiz question comes from Tony in Alabama. Tony wants to know, do you adjust fuel for changing weather conditions?
Your viewers are getting sharp. I don't as a driver, but it's obviously one of the biggest calculations. That's why you don't see a lot of crew chiefs out signing autographs anymore. To be honest with you, if you walked up there, the general, you'll see them on a calculator and they're doing it. But once they start the car, they put the pump where it's going to be. I do the burnout, and when I roll up the stage, I pull the pump all the way on from where it was. And it's only about that far on my lever, but it changes everything and makes the pumps flow, everything. So that's about all I do as a driver.
If you have a question for the ARP quarter-mile quiz, send it to the address on the screen. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive an ARP quarter-mile quiz shirt.
ARP, the world leader in fastener technology, the fasteners of champions.
Do what we do. Use ARP fasteners.
They are the best in the business. I'll do nothing but ARP.
I go to ARP.
We don't take any chances, and that's why our equipment is ARP.
We use nothing but ARP to keep our ride tight and right.
We won 3 championships using ARP fasteners.
We use nothing but ARP.
You got to surround yourself with the best, and that's ARP. You have my word on that.
ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Your power sports vehicle is made with the latest lightweight and high-tech materials. So why isn't your battery? From season to season, Ballistic Performance batteries will severely enhance your vehicle's performance with state-of-the-art energy storage technology. Imagine a battery that can outlive lead-acid batteries by 2 times. Brought to you with a 3-year warranty and reaching all 4 corners of the globe. Ballistic Performance batteries. Genuine American power. When you want superior diesel performance, depend on StainlessDiesel.com. At Stainless Diesel, we sell cutting-edge products that make power and will stand the test of time. We're the manufacturer of the stainless exhaust manifolds for the Dodge Cummins. With a 0% failure rate, our stainless manifolds are made right here in the USA. Stainless Diesel offers custom single and twin turbo piping kits, billet turbo upgrade compressor wheels, and personalized complete turbochargers. From towing to all-out diesel performance, StainlessDiesel.com. We speak turbo. The Little Power Shop specializes in diesel truck performance and appearance accessories for Dodge Cummins, GM Duramax, and Ford Powerstroke. The Little Power Shop offers fast, free shipping, a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, and unsurpassed inventory from 8 national warehouses ready to ship the same day. The Little Power Shop will not be undersold. The Little Power Shop also carries a line of products for Mustang, Jeep, Nissan, and Toyota. You can order safely online by logging on to littlepowershop.com.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Earlier in the show, Nick told us about the X crossover to his exhaust system and how important it was. Why is that, Nick?
There's always an advantage to having an X-pipe, especially on street-driven vehicles. An X-pipe is a scavenger. It helps make the cylinder heads feel like they're more efficient. It helps draw the exhaust out. And whenever possible, we'll use an X-pipe on any car.
Is there a top and a bottom? Is it going backwards?
It's one of the things that I wanted to point out here is that if you notice that the X-pipe actually angles upwards, this is actually the top side. So when you're putting it in, you can actually put this in upside down.
I want to make sure you get it right. So let's throw it up in there and show them how to do it the right and correct way. It definitely makes the car run better with that, right?
Absolutely. The reality of it is that any exhaust system has certain inefficiencies that the X-pipe actually makes up for. It's something that we find very, very critical.
Let me hold these up out of your way for you.
Okay. We're in.
Perfect.
Now, it's important that people realize that an X-pipe is a scavenger, and it works with signal. The closer you can bring it to the engine, the better it'll scavenge. I've noticed a lot of other companies move their X-pipes and they put them in different locations. Our main goal with all our systems is to try and get the X-pipe as close to the engine as possible.
All right, well, let's check back in with Kathy, see how they're coming. We're going to finish tightening up some clamps and get this exhaust system with its final install.
Thanks, Tommy. Well, now we're getting this all finished and torqued here. Now we're going to put together a piston and a rod. And, of course, we have our rods here from K1. And, of course, we have our Wiseco pistons, which come with all of your piston specifications right in here inside the kit. Tells you all about the rings, what they should be, and that type of thing. And then we have our pins. Now, I noticed something that Wiseco does that other companies don't do, in that they offer an offset wrist pin. Why would that be important?
The LS series family engines have a problem with cold start knock, and that can activate the knock retard. Wiseco was one of the few companies who figured that out and fixed it from the beginning, so all their pistons offer that feature.
Yeah, because anything we can do to keep things running smooth, and we don't like the word knock used at all with anything that has to do with an engine.
Not on pump gas.
So we're going to go ahead and get the pin and put in here, slide it on through. Oh, now my favorite part.
The spiral locks.
The spiral locks. Oh boy, this could actually take a while here. I wish I knew somebody that might have a trick.
I've got a trick for that.
I had a feeling you did with the kind of stuff you do around here. Well, I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and take that and put those back together there.
I'll do that.
Can I go ahead and put these bolts in back here?
Yeah, let me give you a hand here a second, because we have to adjust these first. Basically, what we want to do is make sure the X-pipe is centered. There's a lot of adjustability in the system with all the slip joints here and here. So what we want to do is just get everything up. The system has to be tucked up nice. There is a brace that goes across here, and you want to create enough clearance because we do have 3-inch pipes on this exhaust. One thing that I forgot to mention was with the long tube headers, the primary O2 sensors don't reach, so we supply these in the kit.
Throw me a wrench, Nick.
Wow, you're back with that already?
I've got my ways.
I guess you do. It's one of his other little secrets that he's not going to tell us about. Okay, well, the next thing we've got here is the rings, but why exactly do you choose to use Wiseco pistons?
Wiseco moves this top ring down enough that there's not any problem when you're using forced induction or nitrous, because this intake valve is so close to the edge of the piston you lose some strength there. They move it down more than any other piston manufacturer. They also use one of the strongest alloys on the market.
Especially when you're talking about the kind of horsepower that you're putting together with what you've got in the car back here. Now, we've got actually 4 rings here that come from Wiseco for these pistons. Can you tell us about that?
This is their oil control ring. It goes on the bottom here.
And then what do we got here?
This is the second ring. It goes in the middle.
It's kind of what they call it, a groove lock spacer, actually.
Yeah, it's a Napier face. Excellent for oil control.
All right, Nick. All that's left to do is put the clamps on and tighten them up. Is there anything I need to know?
Yes, it's very, very important. And this is something that people really need to pay attention to. When you're putting these clamps on, you want to be able to get them right to the very, very edge. That will give you the best clamping force. Now I'm just going to run it into snug because the final tightening will be done with a torque wrench. We want to go 48 foot-pounds of torque. Over-tightening these clamps will make the system hard to take apart if you ever have to service the transmission. Oh, it's there. There you go. Perfect. There you go.
All right, let's finish this thing off, and let's see what Kathy is. I think she's just about getting finished up.
All right, Jeff went ahead and got our rod and piston in for us, and this coating actually on here isn't just for pretty. It has something to do with the break-in period, right, Jeff?
That's right. It prevents piston scuff in the cylinder wall.
And something else as well. Let's say you're going ahead and you're doing the bottom end. You don't have the money right now to put new fancy heads on, but with the Wiseco pistons, can you change heads? Is it going to give us any problems here with the valves?
This valve relief will work with any LS series cylinder head.
And I noticed there was actually directions on the piston. It says forward.
Yeah, that's because it's an offset wrist pin, so they have to be on the right side.
Okay, well then that makes sense. Something else we want to make sure is right is torquing down our cap here with our ARP bolts, and we want to make sure that we use our ARP fastener lube assembly, and you've got one there ready to go for us, Jeff, and let's finish it up. You know, that was something else that was really cool about the K1 rods, is they actually come with the ARP. They use the ARP with their rod caps. But if you were to choose a different rod, all you have to do is call up ARP if the ARP product does not come with your particular brand. But I like the fact that K1, they know the world's best fastener, so they've got it on there. And we're getting it all together here. I cannot wait to go hear this car. I've heard about all this great horsepower you have in it. Can you tell me about some of the things that you've done? I've heard that there's maybe a special grind. You've had a cam that you came up with, lift and duration. Can you tell me about it?
That's right. We call it our little bigger cam, and that's about all I can say about it. The specs are proprietary.
So you're not going to tell me what's little and what's bigger, lift or duration or any of that,
That's right.
Man, that's the fun part.
Drives like a little cam and makes power like a big cam.
Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you won't tell me what your secret is, you will let me do a really nice burnout in it later on, won't you?
Well, we'll have to see about that.
Okay, we'll talk about it a little more.
Problems with your vehicle's heat and air conditioning system? Now you can fix the problem in as little as 1 hour. HeaterTreater.net can save you up to $1,400 in parts and labor costs. Minimal mechanical expertise is required, and you can perform the repair at home with common tools. Our method is thoroughly tested, engineered, designed, and we offer customer support and detailed written instructions. To learn more and see a video demonstration, log on now to HeaterTreater.net.
You are what you do. So start doing what you love and get paid for it by learning automotive technology at Lincoln Tech today. Starting on the first day, you can start learning hands-on while experienced ASC certified instructors help guide the way. And when you're out there looking to start your career, Lincoln Tech's career placement assistants can help you find what's right for you. Call 800-340-3991. That's 800-340-3991.
Since their creation, Americans have strived to make their cars their own. They've cut, chopped, slammed, hammered, welded, painted, and customized them. As Americans, we have the freedom to push the limits, the fortitude to change, to make good things great and great things better. For some, it's a hobby. For others, it's a passion. For Locar, it's an obsession.
This edition of Performance TV is being brought to you by NitroPlate, your one-stop shop for high-temperature and anti-corrosion coatings. And by Centerline Wheels, design fused with technology. And by Wiseco, one name, one solution.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Now we've got this Camaro down off the lift, and we're going to be putting it on the dyno here very soon. But there's something that Jeff didn't get a chance to do, but we're going to do it for him now. We've got those very nice American Racing headers on there, but what we need is to replace the stock bolts, the exhaust manifold bolts, the header bolts that he put in. So what we did was we picked up this ARP engine and accessory fastener kit. Not only is it ARP, but these things look really nice too, and they will not rust. They're actually 12-point, and they're stainless, and they're polished, and this kit comes with everything you could possibly want. You've got your coil to bracket to valve cover bolts. You've got your ignition coil to valve cover bolts. You've even got your oil pan bolts here. I mean, I told you this kit has got everything. You've got your timing cover bolts, valve cover bolts. You've got your thermostat, the intake bolts. And of course, we come to the last pack in here, and you've got the rear motor cover bolts, the valley cover bolts, water pump bolts, and what Tommy has been looking for right here, you've got your exhaust manifold bolts or header bolts to put on these American Racing headers. So Tommy, here you go. I'm going to let you get started on that. I'm going to go take a break.
Got it there, Nick? Yep, just tightening up the last bolt right now. Hey, by the way, did you hear GM came out with that new LSX head that's got that diagonal bolt pattern? We recently prototyped that, along with headers for the tall decks. There's a lot of guys that are building, a lot of guys are building big cubic inch motors for these cars, and we went ahead and prototyped headers for the tall deck stuff too. It's just amazing how far these cars will go, who knows, you know?
Oh, see, you got yourself a helper. It's kind of cheating, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we got your work done.
Good. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I need to take a break. I'm ready to put this thing on the dyno. Are you guys?
It's ready. Let's do this.
Put the hood down. Let's go.
You know, Kathy, DynoJet is recognized as the industry standard in performance chassis dynameters.
Yeah, it's the most widely used performance chassis dyno.
This thing can measure up to 2,000 horsepower, 2,000 foot-pounds, and 200 miles per hour.
You know, a DynoJet chassis dyno is a fantastic tool as it actually validates performance upgrades, it aids in tuning, calibrating a vehicle properly, and it even allows you to diagnose drivability inside the shop. We've got the two-wheel drive here, but even for all-wheel drive.
One of the best things about it, made in the USA, Belgrade, Montana.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, you told us it could do some fantastic numbers. Now I'm seeing them with my own two eyes, and I heard it too.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. 793, and it's street legal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this has got to be some kind of record.
The most power ever made with an E-Force is 689. Till today, we made 793.
Wow, and check out the torque.
Yeah.
At 2,500 RPMs, it made 702 foot-pounds of torque at the tire.
And I can take this out, and I can drive it to Florida and back, or I can drive it to the grocery store, so to speak, and I can just put 93 unleaded in it, and it's completely street legal and very streetable.
That's exactly right.
And fast.
Yeah, fast. Well, you know what? I'm going to find out how fast it is. Excuse me, boys. My turn. Almost 800 horses? Yeah, Tommy, eat your heart out.
Kathy, that is no top fuel burnout. See you next week with more Performance TV. Be sure and stop by and like Performance TV on Facebook.